Let me double check. I think the first one is Neil.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Neil Crabtree.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Boom. Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk breakouts and busts and a little bit about week one and a whole lot more coming up now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Neil Crabtree.
Hey, welcome back again to the Back Row Fantasy Show, where everything we know, you know, after we're done.
Yeah.
Spitting out the knowledge.
Oh, I mean, or we're making really, really strong guesses.
Or stating the obvious.
Confident guesses, we'll say. They may not be that strong, but they're very confident.
Would you call them educated?
They are not educated by any means.
We'll say we're trying.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
Opinionated. How about that?
That works.
Very strongly opinionated guesses.
So, welcome back. We had a week one game already.
Yes. Was it, though? Was it? Was it a week one ass kicking that looked better on the scoreboard than it really was?
Yeah, the scoreboard didn't tell the story. This was a Chiefs romp, if I've seen one, and against a team that normally plays them pretty well.
Well, I mean, it's almost like if the Texans could come up with maybe like a true number one receiver. I know they're hard to come by.
Dude, Brandon Cooks did nothing.
I know those true number ones are hard to come by, but if you could get your hands on one, and pay him whatever he wants, and just that's all they were lacking.
That bag of chips was worth it.
Yeah.
So,
but a good takeaway, real quick. David Johnson.
all right, we'll go into that.
Okay.
So, what did you think about David Johnson?
I thought he looked not like old David Johnson.
Okay.
But he was the in between.
He looked acceptable.
He looked
Okay,
well. I mean,
right.
he
There we go.
looked solid.
Yes.
He looks solid. Nothing crazy. I'm not running out to try to pick up, David Johnson. But, if I owned him and didn't sell him for nickels, I'd be pretty happy after last night.
So, the one thing you can say about it looked like they blocked well for him. He found holes. But, I mean, we're talking like a 10-yard gain with 8 hats around him. And the old David Johnson, the one that everyone was paying, way up for, he's number one guy, he's number one. Like, that's a touchdown. But he turned it a 10-yard gain and was tackled. He looked good, not great. He looked like a passable running back in the NFL to me.
Well, his value, he matched his value. I mean, he didn't obviously put up
I think he exceeded his value a little bit.
Well, he's still, getting drafted pretty high as far as ADP goes.
Yeah.
I found ludicrous. I mean, for him to be a top round and a half guy, I thought was crazy.
And for next week, there's already news that Duke Johnson's going to be out. So,
Wait. Did you say a round and a half?
I think that's crazy.
Is that what he? No.
Who?
I mean, people were
David Johnson.
still paying up for him like he was a RB1.
I mean, what was his ADP?
I don't.
Last time I looked, he was at the bottom end 10, early teens.
That's what I thought too.
Top round and a half.
Oh, I thought you meant teens in the. I'm talking like dynasty leagues.
Are you talking teens in the rounds?
Yeah.
Like the 15th round?
Well, yeah. I swear to God, maybe it was just a redraft that nobody wanted him in, but he went late.
I've been in a couple drafts where he went like a RB1.
What I'm talking about is the teens as far as running backs drafted.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Still, that puts it in round 3, which more than great value there.
Right.
But man, I just can't. I mean, he was already hurt for a minute. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, he looked bad before Kenyon Drake took over.
Oh yeah,
he looked bad.
Yeah, he looked slow. He moved like you thought Derrick Henry would move.
Yeah.
Just slow and plodding. And I mean, fair enough. He looked good last night.
Looked like Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde made him look bad last year.
True.
In comparison. But last night, once again, passable running back.
Pretty good.
So
pretty good.
CEH. As advertised?
Yeah. And again,
but he wasn't. He didn't catch a damn ball.
well, that was weird, but he ran the ball pretty
Yeah,
damn
he
well.
didn't have to catch a ball.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, it's like what Arms spoke about on the way over here. I mean, McCaffrey's number 1 to take, but would you have Clyde be number 2 now?
I still want Saquon. And
Yeah, I
then,
don't
and
want
then
Clyde
I
Edwards-Helaire
think I
that
still
high
want
yet.
Zeke. I think I still want Derrick Henry.
I do. Yeah. I Derrick Henry is he's special, in a different
Yeah,
way.
but the thing is,
so
for the record, I'm not saying I would have Clyde as number 2, but it's still a conversation worth having. That's
if CEH would have caught some balls last night,
He's going to.
I'd
That's
be
coming
thinking,
now.
yeah, but when,
Whenever the game matters. I mean, you think they're going to put Darrell
Well, I'm
Williams
just-
in there?
I'm just thinking like there's a lot of running backs that catch 20 to 30 balls a year. The ones you want in PPR are the running backs that catch 45 to 65.
Fair enough.
I don't know if CEH is going to catch 45 to 65.
Yeah.
he wasn't needing to catch the ball last night because they were having like 35 play drives for touchdowns and stuff. This is
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he
35 plays he didn't get thrown to.
he didn't
Yeah.
have to, just grinding them.
I mean, finding the hole.
What, 6 yards a carry or something?
Yeah, cutting on a dime. Like there was one play, and they were showing it from the end zone or from behind the defense, and damn well the linebacker just flat out did not see him until he cut into the hole. Like he's tiny. I mean, stature wise, height wise, I mean he's a bowling ball. He's solid muscle, but we made the comp. I think he's a more elusive Maurice Jones-Drew.
Well, he's a poor man's MJD right now. If he's not catching the ball, he's a poor man's MJD.
Boom.
I would take what he's going to put up his rookie year over. If you told
You
me
stop it now, okay?
over what Maurice Jones-Drew did his rookie year, I'd take. If I knew that Maurice Jones-Drew was going to,
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew is also behind Fred Taylor too.
Truth.
fair enough.
That big factor. But anyways, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, yeah, you can't argue that he doesn't belong in the conversation of the top 2 or 3 backs, but I'm not ready yet.
I think he's on the edge of the top 5. And if I have all right, we'll put it this way: McCaffrey, you're asking for a lot with CEH to give up McCaffrey.
Right.
All right. If you have Derrick Henry, are you going to do that trade straight up?
No.
If I have Derrick Henry, I want more.
Right.
Like, all right, so I've got a 1,500-yard running back, and you've got potential for it, but I've actually got one. And someone who can convert at the goal line. Derrick Henry can do that. Doesn't look like CEH can do that.
No, that didn't look. He did not look good trying to do that.
Hey, they were just
last
trying to
week.
waste time, okay? Points didn't matter.
I get it, but
also the betting line.
It's not like they're telling CEH don't get any.
Yeah,
they
it's-
just don't. Just don't CEH. Don't
Harkening
do
back
it.
to Maurice Jones-Drew, it's not like they're like run it down to the 5 and get down. That ain't what they were doing.
Right.
Westbrook did that to me one time too for a playoff spot. He ran all the way down to down towards the end zone and just laid down.
Yeah.
I remember that one, man. It cost me a playoff spot.
It's going back, son.
That was awesome. Not for Neil, but
And he literally ran all the way down. Yeah.
See,
So-
that happened to me too, because not that exactly, but the year I missed the playoffs because McGinnis was already in, so he didn't set a fucking lineup against me. Or against the guy that got into playoffs over me.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you get into some of these 16-teamers.
Yeah.
And they have, like, you're the hot team that's barreling down the pike and nobody wants to play you.
Right.
And so the guy who's at, so 6 teams make playoffs. The guy who's at the 5 spots, like.
That is why he did
like,
it. He didn't want to face me. He wanted to face the other guy.
I'm just going to go ahead and not play Barker in the playoffs this week.
And I was fucking
Next week.
hot about it. And he's like, it's strategy, dude. I didn't want to play you in the playoffs.
It's
And I'm
fair
like,
enough, man.
fuck that.
I always put my best
fuck
team
that.
forward and think that I'm going to try to win. Like, I hate it. I think it's.
Eric, I love you anyways, by the way.
I hate the play. But man,
just football.
I can't say that I wouldn't do that. That's a moral thing. It's like my team's better than yours anyway. I'm going to beat you in the playoffs. But man, I can understand the logic behind it. I'm not.
Yeah, let's move on. I'm still sour about it.
All I'm saying is I'm not. If I'm the commissioner, I'm
Still
not going
upset.
in and like plugging in a team for him to play.
Right.
So because it is what it is.
It's been a long time since I've cried. Can we move on?
Okay.
My,
So, how hard is it to own McCole Hardman right now?
it's hard. It's tough. Neil, we got on that.
The one of the few I actually hit on.
Yeah.
Like freaking McCole Hardman. Jesus criminy. I think I had him in.
It's only year 2.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I had him in. I think I ran 4 slates last night, and I put him in 3 of the 4, and just oh my god.
I mean, you would do it.
You did that.
You would do it again next week too.
I will do it again next
I would
week.
too.
Because he's
He
going to be
does not
cheaper.
give up. Arms does not give up.
He'll be
And the
cheaper
value's
next
the value's there, so you kind of have to.
I also play Cahill fucking wearing, so it is what it is.
Nice
Well,
start.
he was basically free.
Listen, I'm not trying to be a dick.
There's the reason
But-
why he's free.
But what's his name? Daniel Fells and something Aiken were talked up all offseason. So Kale wearing.
Yeah, but I mean they kept him on the team because they believe in something about him. I thought they maybe he's 6'5". He's a monster.
Well, the
Yeah,
tight ends ahead of him are ancient, but
Yeah,
they're both good. So
It's a sad day when Daniel
Daniel
Fells is being talked
Fells
up.
is not good.
Nobody's ever talked Daniel
We were
Fells
talking
up.
about this on the way here. It's like Daniel Fells had one game with Eli, caught like 4 touchdowns, and people are like, "No, he's getting like he's got like 5 career touchdowns, and 4 of them are in a freaking game."
Listen, I'm talking about good in comparison to Cahill Waring. He can't
Okay.
beat them out for a job, so
Listen,
they're
you-
good enough.
You win on fantasy by a single contrarian play.
No, I'm with you. I understand.
In especially in DFS, you have to pick someone that nobody else is picking. And by the way, it was like a 1.65 percentage of ownership, and I had it was like 0.125 captain. I ran one with him as captain. Oh, got a big 0 there. I don't even think he played a snap. If you got points for snaps, I would have got 0 points out of him. I was so mad. I just 1 touchdown.
Yeah, you had a hunch.
A guy like that, 1 touchdown's all I need. And of course, they were never in position. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I won money last night, barely, but I won money.
I did not bet. I did no betting.
Oh, I did all. I ran my typical showdown type slates. Had believed in some Will Fuller. Will Fuller looked all right. He had some drops.
He did what he should have.
Had some drops.
Yeah.
He had a very Will Fuller like game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there was one play to where if Watson didn't have a horrible underthrow, it was like 148 yards and touchdowns. He finished the week with. Like, come on. So I don't know. Do you believe in Will Fuller going forward?
If he's healthy, if
Yeah,
he's healthy,
I still believe in him.
I'm
Okay.
always in on him when he's healthy. It's just the fear.
Fair enough.
Fear.
Fair enough. I say that a lot now.
Well, one of these days, right? Like one of these years, he's not going to get hurt.
Well, I mean,
Can you? Who was the last guy
Keenan
that had a-
Allen was that kind of guy.
Who was the last guy that had a long career but was injured every season of it? Like who
I don't know.
Who?
The one name that always goes back to me, and this was it was Niddle's favorite player, Denario Alexander.
Oh,
Like
man.
Denario Alexander, whenever he's on the field, it's like 10 catches, 112 yards, and a
The
touchdown.
Panthers was like you
No,
started with the Panthers?
Rams, and it's like he's good, and then he blows his freaking knee out like week 2, and you're like,
Well, he blows his load. That's what he does.
I think he did that within the first 4 weeks, like 4 seasons in a row, and he's out of the NFL. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
I overpaid for him like the 5th season, and I don't even think he took a snap. Like, yeah.
What about John Ross? Did John Ross get hurt last year
Yes.
Yes.
and the year before?
Yes.
That's what he. That's
And
what
the
he
year
does.
before
That's what he does.
Well,
The year
so, I
before
mean-
that was his rookie year, but he was hurt. So
he was hurt.
That's what AJ Green's doing too. So
So
if your quarterback
if,
was Andy Dalton, and you're
I
off,
like Andy Dalton.
I'm sure you do. But if your quarterback was Andy Dalton, and you're like, listen, the best thing I could do for you is put you guys in position to get the #1 overall pick by not playing. Nice job, AJ Green. You're a team player, brother.
yeah. So John Ross, if he plays 4 more years, he'll be that guy. Like the
Yeah.
long career, but never 16 games, never 15, never 14.
I remember, gosh, it was like through week 3 or 4, John Ross was like a top 3 guy
Right,
last year.
yeah.
And somebody had compared him to like Keenan Allen, and someone was like, is this a fair trade? And I'm like, Keenan Allen by 1,000,000 miles. And then this smartasser Mark right after it was like, yeah, well, someone's picking a name and the other one's picking the number 3 receiver in football. We see who knows what they're talking about. I went back to that tweet like 4 weeks later, whenever he's on IR. I'm like, you were saying? He's like, I'm sorry. I don't remember who it was.
I feel like I remember that, and that was in our main league.
No, that was on Twitter. That little exchange went on Twitter.
Oh, well, you've been on Twitter as long as we've been doing the show, so
That's literally
so
the longer.
that's why I know about it. Yeah. All right. So, Chiefs, Texans. Any more talking points on that before we start talking?
McKinney looked good.
Yeah, McKinney looked good.
J.J. Watt got some pressure.
Zach Cunningham made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
They had some tackles anyways.
Honey Badger apparently compares him. Who reminds you of yourself in the NFL? Nobody. I compare myself to Troy Polamalu and, oh God, who was the other one? Charles Woodson. I'm like, okay. So arguably the greatest, the best safety to ever play the game, and arguably the best cornerback to ever play the game. So that's who you comp yourself to. You were like, yeah, like statistically no higher than like 20 in any category, but you do you, brother.
Yep.
You do you.
All-time great. Cross between Deion Sanders and Ronnie Lott, mixed with a little shake of Darrell Revis.
Yeah, no, nobody can get past me except for people that are...
Except everybody.
And those good Nnamdi Asamoah years, those first couple.
I forgot about him.
He was so good with the Eagles. So good. And then he went to the Raiders and fucked it up.
Vice versa.
Just fucked it up.
He was incredible with the Raiders. He went to the Eagles on the super team that was like 7-9.
You're right. I did get that.
Whenever they got what, Vic?
He got paid like handsomely.
They got awesome. They had. I mean, they that was an awesome team.
Wasn't
on
there
paper.
another Raider that was really good and went somewhere? And
really doesn't narrow it down. I mean, Randy Moss had
cornerback.
like,
I'm talking.
I was
like
gonna say Randy Moss had
defensive
700 yards or so with the Raiders, and the next season had 23 touchdowns.
The Hiya Bobcat.
Michael Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually had a good career, didn't he?
He
With
did. He had
Steelers,
a solid career.
Yeah, he was fine.
He was a bust with the Raiders, though. They were all about that speed.
We're still not.
Ohio University Bobcat round
the
two.
highest picked Bobcat of all time.
Of all time, and
It was like pick 203.
Oh yeah, it was high.
It might have been pick 21.
They were high.
Oh yeah,
it was high.
Yeah, I mean, I want whatever Al Davis used to smoke.
Yeah, if they were fast, like hey, seriously, it could have been a dude that looks like Sheldon Cooper. But if you clocked a 4.2, you're a fucking Raider, son.
I mean,
you're a fucking Raider.
We did get Ruggs this year as I'm losing my mind. Like, all right, so
Ruggs actually has.
I know, but we
potential.
have Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb just sitting there staring in the face, and we're like, and with the 11th pick, 9th pick, the Raiders take, and I'm like, Jerry Jeudy, it's got to be Jerry Jeudy. He's fast enough. He's got amazing hands, perfect route running. Like this is the best, the cleanest receivers prospect in like 7 years, and a very arbitrary number, 7 years, but. Then they're like, we'll take the fast guy. What? Well, okay. I came to peace with it, though.
And then Brian Edwards ends up being the man. And the game hasn't been played yet, so who the hell knows?
Dude, I took
Who
Edwards.
the hell knows?
I took Edwards in a draft.
I mean, that's a great thing about being a Raiders fan. You don't care which one it is. As long as, as long as it's one of them.
As long as one of them's good.
The other guy develops,
Awesome trade that they got.
Lynn Bowden Jr. to the Dolphins. I don't understand. You don't give up on a 2020, third rounder?
Third rounder for a fourth. And they gave back a sixth.
I mean, the only Raider you can actually trust is Renfro.
Renfro? I mean,
my boy.
I'm not sure he's going to be a star, but man, third Renfro.
I kept reading that he might lose snaps to.
He's going to stay in the slot. I mean, it is what it is.
They said Ruggs is in the slot.
Ruggs can play any
Edwards
position
on the outside.
They're going to run 3 wide receiver sets constantly. 3 receivers with Waller at tight end.
Got Brandon Jacobs and Devonta Booker.
Jacobs
Like a Devontae Booker reference.
Top 5 or top 7 in attempts last year, rushing attempts?
Devonta Booker? Yeah. No, Devonta Booker was efficient. He had like 7 yards on 1 carry.
Oh yeah, stud. Hall of Fame numbers right there.
Yards per carry, top of the league.
Yards per carry, that's Hall of Fame numbers right there.
Absolutely.
The best to ever do it. All right. So, anyhow.
Breakouts and busts, and then we'll talk a little week 1. We can do either. We can do a breakout. We can do a bust. It don't have to be like, we're going to do breakouts first, and then we're going to talk about some busts. We could just go with whatever the hell you want. Arms, breakout, or a bust. Give us one and why.
I'm going to go with my the top bust I have on my list, and sadly it's Darren Waller. 90 receptions, 1,146 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, finished fine. I think top 5 tight end last year. A lot of his games were just a couple of games. A lot of his yards were a couple of games. He's not going to get the target share he got last year. He was the only guy on Oakland that had 2 hands, apparently. The addition of Brian Edwards, we'll keep on calling him Brian, I don't know why. But Brian Edwards, Ruggs, I think Edwards is going to get force-fed the ball. Ruggs is going to get his. They're going to get, if you put a gun to my head, I'd say Edwards gets 8 targets a game. Ruggs gets 6 to 7, and
It's very violent.
And that takes enough away from Waller to not produce where you have to draft him at. So I think you're gonna have a huge disappointment if you're expecting another 1,000-yard season out of Darren Waller.
The thing is, everybody expects Waller to be inconsistent because that's pretty much what he was all year. He had these big monster games and goose eggs here and all. It's some bad weeks. But then again, he has rapport.
But overall, he's still going as a top 5 tight end.
Yeah.
He should. And
Because Talia.
and but the thing is, like, I wouldn't.
So
really,
he is breakout worthy.
I wouldn't really consider him a bust
I got him
because
as a bust.
I really do think the rapport he
I meant
has.
bust.
He already has like rapport with the system. I think he'd be fine. But I wouldn't label him as a bust. But I can see where you're coming from. It's because of inconsistency.
Yeah, I talk about that. That was my big hate on Austin Hooper. Going into last year was so inconsistent. I just think that it's going to be. I think Waller's going to be a scarier version of that this year,
like,
in a bad way. Like
lower
lows and lower highs.
You have like 2 tight ends that are consistent.
Yeah.
Every other one's just spotty. So like it's kind of
Yeah.
what you expect.
And I'm with Arms on this. I think Darren Waller's spottiness gets way worse because they actually got a couple guys that can catch the
But I
ball in
still
there.
like-
And Jason Witten.
Yeah, and that's
Can't
another thing.
discount Jason Witten just because he's old. Like he's going to cut into Darren Waller.
I still think the rapport is going to help the first few weeks.
I just don't think he even approaches the 117 targets he got.
Well,
last
he
year.
probably doesn't.
And you can't tell me that he's going to be that much more efficient. I mean, let's realize going into 2019, his career high in yardage was 85. He doesn't get into the end zone. I mean, 6'6" and doesn't get into the end zone. Why?
There's a lot of teams that do that stuff that won't just throw it up and it pisses me off.
Oh, but no, I mean that's my number one bust. I think for the price you got to pay for him, because if you look, I mean, it's going to go Kelsey Kittle, one of the two is a top guy. A lot of people will have, I think it's crazy, but a lot of people are going to have like Gronk or an Ertz at 4 or Andrews, right there in that mix.
Don't like either one of those.
But
I still love Kyle Rudolph, but that's just me.
you can like him, but it doesn't mean
Good
you should
Lord.
play him. But I just you have to pay too much for not Austin Hooper, for
Waller.
Darren Waller. It's going to be disappointing in the price.
He
you pay.
still costs that much. Just like we said, the landscape, you got to pay that much for him.
I would be happy.
I don't agree with it.
I've got
It's the truth.
other guys I've talked about. I'm far more confident. Actually, a guy who's not on either list, I'd rather have Goddard.
Well, I'd rather
By a
have
mile.
like Jack Doyle. A lot of people I would rather have.
I'd rather have Goddard.
And-
Even if Waller has a really good season, this might be it. I mean, Waller's not.
27, I think.
I just don't see him as a long-term thing. I think he's like a
Gary Barnhouse.
Gary Barnhouse kind of thing, or another
Gary
Barnage.
Barnhouse. Former coworker. Barnhouse. Gary Barnage.
Oh yeah. But there was another Browns tight end. Like I swear to God, there was another.
There
one.
was. It was like
Barnage
back
played
to
for the
back.
Browns after he played well for what the
Nobody.
Panthers?
It was Browns.
I
Then
thought
he went.
had
Then he
a
went
good
to
season with the Panthers.
He went to like the Jaguars or Panthers and did nothing there. Like I just feel like this is what I mean. I think that's what Darren Waller is. I mean, do I expect him to get 600 or 700 yards this year? Yeah, but you're not paying the price you're paying for Waller to get 600 or 700 yards.
Right.
I think there'll be very few week-winning performances out of him.
I'm with you. I'm going to jump in with mine just because I don't want anybody else to say it. Breakout, and remember, breakout's a lot different than a sleeper. A breakout, a guy that's had some success, and you're projecting him to blow up.
Well, just go up a tier.
go up a tier. Yeah, or go up a tier. And Deontay Johnson of Pittsburgh
there you
is that guy. Go ahead and mark it. I didn't even read your shit, Neil. Didn't even read it. But Deontay Johnson is ready to absolutely bust out. And I'm not just going off camp news, but of course it doesn't hurt when Ben Roethlisberger is developing a rapport with you coming back into the fold. And he was their best receiver over the second half of last year.
Yes, he was.
And he just looks poised to be their best receiver, period, this year. And not Juju Smith-Schuster.
By the way, Waller
Sorry.
finished third.
Huh?
Waller finished third in tight ends.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
That's what I was saying.
That's what's so
but-
crazy about it. Anyways, sorry.
yeah, but the thing is, Deontay, like,
And right behind Kittle, by the way.
right.
Sorry, I know we're past him. Sorry.
Yeah, but Johnson, like, if he actually converted on a lot of his targets, just think about what his numbers would have been. That could
Waller.
yeah, but Waller,
But Darrow.
I can't
Darren Waller.
help but hate on him right now.
Oh,
yeah, but Johnson, like, I don't know if it was like bad quarterback play that made his targets. Not,
A lot of it was.
well, I was saying,
Jeez, did he catch a pass from an NFL starter?
I'm just saying, like, even though his numbers were really good towards the second half of the season, he had a lot of targets and then maybe like 3 catches. You know what I'm
they were
saying?
really good with Duck Hodges.
Yeah, Duck
and
Hodges.
Fucking what? Smash Face. What's his name?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Most punchable face in sports.
Rudolph.
It's had to be punched, right?
I mean, I'll say it again.
Him and freaking.
Like Myles Garrett, like I like him more for his wing and helmet at Duck.
Yeah. I've said it
Mason
before.
Rudolph.
I've said it before, but him or Mitch McConnell won most punchable face I've ever seen, and Carrot Top's up there too.
I'll agree
Mr.
with that.
Makeup.
Listen, coming as a redhead, like men with floppy red hair, it's disgusting. What are you doing, man?
It's not that makes me want to hit him. He just makes some weird faces that like piss me off. Like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was real hittable at one time.
Did you see his picture with Leonard Fournette?
I did.
Dude, his right arm looks weird.
He looks
Just veins and just like this string with a giant hand at the end of it.
He just looks like the ultimate cookout dad. He looks like the ultimate cookout
With
dad.
with the white New Balance.
Yeah, he's the cool ass dad next door. If you're like 17, like he's pretty cool.
And
man.
if you want kissed on the mouth by your dad, you remember that?
yeah, I remember.
Weirdo.
I try not to think about it because I haven't hated him in Tampa Bay yet.
Oh, I can't not hate him.
I don't. It's not a problem anymore. It's a Patriot thing. Cam Newton, go to hell. Hate Cam Newton.
Oh no,
Not really. I've always been okay with Cam, but I hate that he's a Patriot.
I do too. But I think I hate Tom Brady more than I hate Cam Newton. I think I
Yeah,
hate Tom
me
Brady
too.
more than I hate the Patriots. I think it's
No,
what.
no.
Yeah, no, I do.
Nope.
And Neil, it's on you, brother.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on the Deontay Johnson one. My
How
bus.
about Darren Waller?
Well, for my bus, I do have Juju. He hasn't proved anything being the number one guy, and Deontay has proven something with like these welfare quarterbacks. but Juju hasn't proven anything yet, and I still see him.
Welfare
He's not
quarterbacks.
performing up to what his price is asking.
Love it.
I mean,
I'm with you.
whatever.
He wasn't
with you.
proven as the number one so far.
Listen,
As a number one, he's definitely not been good, but
anything less than 1,000 seasons,
1,000 seasons.
1,000 yards is a bust for Juju. I mean, it's a bust.
I mean,
He could go 850 and he's a bust.
But season with Ben Roethlisberger,
1,000.
917 and 7, 1,426 and 7. Like he got targeted less than half the times last year than he did in 2018.
He's getting outplayed.
He wasn't getting outplayed. He had a trash quarterback that couldn't get rid of the ball.
I mean, Deontay Johnson was doing this fine, wasn't he? And the other cat was.
James Washington.
Yeah.
He did-
What about those
he did
guys?
him. Because they were practicing on the second team with freaking Mason Rudolph.
They came to play.
Neil, basically, we can't all be brilliant. Armchair headphones are on backwards. There you go, big guy. There you go, buddy.
Are you sure? Because it feels awkward this way.
There we go. Now maybe we can pick a right.
Now you can
wide
hear, okay?
receiver.
Juju's not the best receiver on the team.
Now you understand,
Juju's
right?
far and away the best receiver on
Oh,
the team.
shit. It didn't work.
No.
The headphone switch did not work.
Far and away the best receiver on the team.
Deontay Johnson. Hell, Chase Claypool may be
Yeah,
the next
that's definitely
biggest asset.
true.
Chase Claypool might be the number 2 receiver. I agree with you.
Yeah, behind Deontay.
Juju.
Over Juju. Over Juju.
Well, so it could be Deontay, Ebron.
Absolutely could be Ebron.
Freaking Ebron.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of,
It could be the,
Ebron is my case in point for Darren Waller. Like great season, hot garbage following up.
Who's the little slot receiver they have too? He's like down the depth chart a little ways, but
it's not Cole Beasley. But
no, but
you're Cole Beasley.
Exactly.
Switzer.
Yeah,
Switzer, isn't it?
Ryan Switzer.
Ryan Switzer could be, the number 3 over Juju on that team. You just don't know. It could happen.
Get out of here. Ben will actually
Is your hearing okay now?
Ben
Like,
will
coming
actually
in
put
right
the
there?
ball where Juju can catch it, unlike the quarterbacks he played with last year.
Yeah,
And
Deontay Johnson goes up and
yeah.
gets it.
Deontay was catching these big bombs, wasn't he?
Lays out for it.
Yeah.
But Juju just, alligator arms. Oh, no.
Since when did you become a USC homer?
Not a USC homer. It's just, I think Juju's good. Listen, I didn't believe in Juju
Hey.
coming in, but after his first year, I'm like, all right, I'll buy it.
Okay,
Had Antonio Brown across from him, too.
You're right.
I think the mirage is over. with
And
him
there's
a
like
little bit.
180 targets went to Antonio
I'm
Brown.
not gonna say he's not good. He is not worth his value. Therefore, he's a bust.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's not, he is good.
And he's not good, is what you're going to
He
say.
is good, but he's not. We were drafting this guy as the number 1, 2, 3 overall.
I did. I
receiver.
literally did say he was going to be number 1 overall last year.
I mean, that happens, but I mean, it wasn't just you. There was a lot of people drafting Juju really freaking high.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh and USC apologists.
I'm trying to find Deontay Johnson. Oh, there.
Oh, man.
Wide receiver 43. What a star.
It's called a breakout, you
God,
fuck.
what a
Yeah,
star.
we're not doing established.
We're not
established
doing
and retired.
I'm pretty sure that Mike Evans is going to have a breakout
Jerry
year.
Rice might be good this year.
Oh, his career high is 84 yards. What a freaking stud.
I think in his 6th year, Calvin Johnson's going to go from good to great.
Oh, God.
What you got, Arms?
I hate you. I think the hype on Tom Brady's crazy right now, and too many people.
Well, he doesn't deserve it, does he? The 6 Super Bowls. He doesn't need
Oh,
that.
my God. He's archaic in a new offense.
He's,
He literally just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
I'm with
Okay.
arms. I'm with arms on this.
Decades ago.
But can we make the argument this is the best offense he's had around him?
Oh, easily.
Easily? Okay. So he should perform like a top 3 quarterback?
No,
Because he was number 1 with a far inferior offense to this.
he's getting carried this year. I'm not denying that. So
He doesn't have that short intermediate route guy.
Apparently he does.
Not the screen pass guy. He's got Godwin. He's got Evans.
What's
No.
Humphreys? What's Humphreys?
No, Humphreys isn't even there.
He's at a different team.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Last year, Titans.
Derp. Oh,
Titans.
Derp.
Get out of here.
No, but he does. Tom Brady has a new love affair with a slot wide receiver in Tampa Bay. I can't remember his name.
God, I know what you're talking about. By the way, James Washington had 735 yards last year.
James Washington.
I'll take James Washington over Deontay Johnson. Although
You're high.
the camp talk has been that Washington's look bad, though. I will say that, comparatively speaking.
Scotty Miller.
Yeah, Scotty Miller. There you go.
Scotty
Yep.
McMiller. The Mac Attack. Actually, his name's just Miller. But I wanted to call him the Mac Attack. That's apparently Tom Brady's new love interest.
Yep.
Do you think Julian Edelman would have been good on other teams?
Nah.
Nope. He was a Tom Brady love interest. He's a good receiver.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if anyone else would have. Tom Brady just likes those short,
Scotty guys.
Yes, the short little shifty
short
guys.
little shifty guy. And
I mean, it's like they always run a guy who's just like, listen, just go somewhere between 3 and 10 yards out, cut somewhere, and I'm going to deliver the ball. But the rest of Tom Brady's supporting cast this year, outside of Gronk, basically, is a go down the field and go up and get it kind of guy.
did you know Gronk was on a TV show called Crash Leets?
No, nor do I care. Can we continue with this now?
Fuck. So rude.
I was interested in that.
Okay,
Go
Neil.
ahead,
So,
tell your
anyways, this, Rob Gronkowski's
Your
on this
stupid fucking
this
story.
kids show called Crash Leets, and it's like
Sounds great.
what was that? Would you shut the fuck up? What was that? Rob Drydeck, Robin Big, or wait, it wasn't Robin Big, but when Rob started showing the funny videos,
He still does, and the show's awful.
what is that?
Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Ridiculousness. So this is like a kid's version of ridiculousness. So, somebody fell off their skateboard. It doesn't look like they got hurt, but it sure was funny. Like it's one of those type video things, like America's Funniest
Some
Videos,
stuff
but not
Rob
funny.
Dyrdek has, like, is he dead? I think he's dead.
I think he is. But there's 3 of them there, like 3 guys that just sit and talk about it. Well, 2 guys and a girl, and Rob Gronkowski's one of them, and it is as bad as you can imagine. Like the meathead jokes, like kid falls off his skateboard, and Rob Gronkowski's like, "Oh, that's gonna give me some road rash." Like,
Thanks, Rob.
You get him, Rob.
Why don't you go back to Vegas and drink some beer or
He
something?
dances on it. It's awful. Every moment is like him smashing Steve Harvey's Lego head over and over and over.
Speaking of Rob Gronkowski, he hasn't played football in 2 years, and
But he probably feels pretty damn good.
he probably does.
I don't think he ever woke up before feeling great. Like, yeah, spry this morning. He's like waking up with back pain,
All I'm saying is,
Gronk pain.
I have him as a bust. I hear a lot of people saying he's going to be top 3.
Do you talk to a lot of people?
Yeah. A lot of people, particularly about fantasy football, a lot of people saying he's going to be like a top 3 guy. And I think they're crazy. I
want resources.
think he finished.
Or,
I was at a draft the other day, and the guy was like, "I'll go up to $500 that he's at least number 3." I'm like,
So you're trying to say he can't beat Waller's numbers?
no, I'm saying, yeah.
Well, you said Waller's a piece of trash, and he's number 3, right? He's not better than Waller?
Waller was 3 last year. He won't be 3 this year.
And Waller's dropping. So.
All I'm saying is Gronk finishes closer to 10 than he does to
Jeez.
1.
Can you even name like 4 people in like
Yes.
outside the top 5?
Outside top 5? Why do I need to name anyone outside top 5?
You shouldn't have to.
Because if he finishes at 6, that's closer to 10 than it is to 1 now, isn't it? All right.
It's
moving
really
on.
disrespectful, man. It really is.
It's disrespectful for a guy who retired
a
2
Hall of
years
Famer?
ago.
Disrespectful. What are we?
Oh
The
my
NFL
God.
is not about respect to aging veterans. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten. Listen, I think Rob Gronkowski historically is great. I think in 2020 he's going to either be injured really quick. I mean, remember, new offense, reduced practice time. The offense doesn't favor the tight end.
He has no reps at the quarterback at all, does he? He don't know what the quarterback's going to do.
Play verbiage could come
matter.
into play. He's an idiot. It could come into play.
So being an idiot got him to the Hall of Fame. So
No, it's running simple things that Bill Belichick needed him to do.
and that's what he's going to do now. And if he has to run simple things, hey, run this way, derp. Oh, I will, and he does.
There's going to be listen.
Hey, I want to throw
Did
stuff in
you
the air.
say
OJ Howard are outperforming this year.
O.J. Howard, that's the epitome of garbage there.
All I'm saying is Gronk finishes closer to 10 than he does 1. He doesn't have a shot at top 2 without injury on the other.
I'm not even saying he's going to be in the top 2 or 3. I'm just saying it's disrespectful to have him in the bottom 10.
I didn't say bottom 10. The bottom half of for top 10.
What's his bottom?
Bottom 10. There's 32 teams in the NFL. I mean, you break it down. There's 4 tight ends a team. That's pretty far down the list.
So you're saying Cal Waring's going to be better than Gronk?
Probably.
Okay.
you were saying that, it's disrespectful, but the league, when a guy ages out, they just fucking forget about it.
I understand that. I mean, I'm not even saying he's going to be that great this year, but to say he's going to be in the bottom, like top 10, I don't think that's
Who
going to.
comes back and perform after being gone for 2 years?
The dude needed the rest.
Just who comes back after being gone for 2 years? Give me an example and performs in top 5 type performance. Who does it?
He's in position.
Just answer my question.
I don't have to.
You do, because I want an example. Give me a historical example.
New things happen all the time, buddy. You know what I mean? There's first for everything.
Records are made to
Yeah.
be broken.
The guy came back thinking that, oh man, I'm gonna leech onto a freaking playoff run. It's the only reason he
may.
came back.
He may. I mean, there's a bunch of Pro Bowlers on front.
He's the 3rd best tight end on his own team.
So where I was going with that lack of respect was leading me to sometimes the NFL is too respectful. And I've said this a handful of times, but it feels like tradition. The NFL was too respectful when they said, today we've got 2 of the NFL's top receivers in Brian Hartline of the Cleveland Browns and A.J. Green of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I like it.
You remember that too, don't
Yes.
Well, Harline did have like 300 some yards that one game.
you? Yeah, he did. He absolutely did.
But
And
wasn't he coming off like 1,100 yard season too? He was fine.
It was not quite 1,100. It was like 1082.
Still,
That was good, but you don't call him one of
I
NFL's
agree.
best wide receivers. Like, he is Brian Hartline, which
Stud.
I loved him. Like, he was never open. He just he fought for it every single time. It was like tug of war up there. It was like, it was great.
never open.
He was never
Goddamn
open,
ball.
but he pulled him down.
Could not get around anybody.
No.
But by God, he could catch 12 balls in a game on occasion.
Well, he's outperforming Mike Wallace and his other bums. So.
We're talking Ramsey's Barden level, never open, and this guy somehow pulled the ball down.
Ramsey Barden was 6'6". He was always open. He just couldn't come down.
He played like he was 5'9".
He did. He did. Oh, I couldn't count how many times they overpaid for Ramsey Barden in 4 years.
It happens, man. We do the same thing with Marcus Davenport. Like, is this going to be? Is it finally going?
Got him on a team.
Is this going to be it? Is this the year?
It's like, oh man, they're talking about how he's blowing up in camp. It's like he's like a young Noah Spence.
Yeah, and I'll probably still give Marvez Valdez-Scantling another year after this one if he sucks.
Valdez-Scantling looked like.
I'll give him another one.
They're talking about how he looks like second best receiver in camp.
I know. I've been talking
I'm tired of hearing about him, honestly. I was wishing he'd go away. I'm tired. I'm just tired of people like, MVS, boy, MVS. I'm tired of waiting on him.
Fucking telling you, this is year 3,
you, bud.
This is year 3, bud. You ain't gonna have to wait no longer. He's coming for you,
dude. Valdez-Scantling had a few decent games.
No, I mean like 2 last year.
So did Denari Alexander too, right?
Yeah,
this is valid. But Valdez-Scantling
Scotty Miller had a couple solid games last year.
He's also the hardest guy to find on anything.
Literally, where's Waldo?
It's like, type it's hyphenated last name. Type in Valdez,
and that's the same thing as on the field. They can't see him. He's so short. He just wears Waldo out there in the field. Like, where's Scotty? Where is Scotty? There he is.
6'4".
He's standing by the pylon, and we couldn't tell that he was. We couldn't tell he was taller than the pylon.
Oh God! So I think I've said 2. Who's next? What do you got?
I can go ahead and go with the boom.
Have at her, Neil.
Phillip Rivers, boom, top 5 quarterback this year.
Whoa!
Boom.
First time he's actually had a good O-line,
Neil just laid the boom.
which is the best O-line in the league.
Whoa! First time he's had a good O-line.
A top O-line.
Okay, so
Instead of being like sacked like every 5 seconds.
Neil's right about top. Philadelphia,
way back,
San Diego.
In the past
Los
few years,
Angeles.
he's been rough, but early in his career, he had some really good offensive line.
Right, but the second half of his career, which is a long time, it's like 17 years. For the last 17
Since
years,
04,
he's had
right?
no good O-line.
Yeah.
I mean, not since his firstborn son was 1.5 has he had a good O-line.
And he's got 16 in between there.
9 children ago.
Listen, Phillip Rivers, one thing you say about him, he couldn't pull out of a
Dude
driveway.
knows how to fuck.
He could not pull
At
out
least
of a
9
driveway.
times, right? At least
Right.
9 times.
Dude can fuck.
He is the poster child for vasectomies.
He can lay it down.
Hey,
he is a
Antonio
pipe
Cromartie is the
laying
poster
machine.
child for
The other day on the McAfee show, he said he wasn't done either.
Jesus,
Yeah.
dude.
He said once you get past 4 and
Nope.
just keep going. I mean,
There's still
I
going to
mean,
be.
you're a multi-millionaire. Have as many kids as you want, man.
There's still going to
because
be.
he says his older kids are pretty much there to babysit.
Yep. There's still going to be announcers in his bedroom saying he really put that one on a line.
Oh man.
But either way, Rivers has like arguably the best offensive line he's ever had. Great talent around
Arguably,
him.
yes.
On a team that's could be poised to go to the
I don't
Super
know
Bowl.
about the talent.
Can
Is
I-
the
can I
talent
ask
better
you-
than anything he had
Can I
on
ask you a question though? Prime versus prime. Do you think he's better than Andrew Luck was?
No.
I love Rivers, so I'm kind of biased towards him. But
I say no.
I say no. And don't get me wrong. Luck had some really awesome years, but I don't
Rivers,
think.
you mean?
No, Luck.
Oh, okay.
Luck had some, and Rivers had several awesome years, but at this point in his career, he's so far on the backside. I just think that I don't think he can resurrect anything of what he was in the past.
I'm just saying for Rivers, it's going to be better than last year.
Which
Is that the boom, right?
Let me ask
where would you rank him though?
Like as far as like what I project him to be in the
Are
next
you
year?
going to take him in your top in a 16 team? Is he going to be
in a 16 team or no? But in a redraft, I would.
a 16 team redraft? We'll go with that. Are you going to take him as your starting quarterback?
I mean, I would. I mean, that's all contextual as far as like what round
No, it's
am I
not
in the line.
contextual. He's available. You need an effing quarterback, and you got
What
the rest.
pick in my arms? I can't. Yeah, I
You're in
picked
the
1, 2.
you're in the 16th round.
Oh, I would take him before then.
That's what he was asking. There you go.
So he's your starter. You're going to take him as your starter in a 16 teamer.
I'd be happy to have him as a starter.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Aaron Rodgers is probably still available. You're taking fucking Phillip Rivers,
Listen,
but all right.
Rogers not going to be available at 16 damn rounds in.
No, he won't.
He's 13 he is, though.
Yeah, 13 he could be. So, game's on the line. The game is on the line. AFC Championship, game's on the
He's
line.
not there.
Phillip Rivers or Andrew Luck?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
I really do think they're going to be the second best team in the league this year. I really do.
Dude, you drove me here. How much did you drink before you picked me up?
Was your answer Phillip Rivers on that, by the way?
Man, I don't know.
No, he doesn't.
What the hell did you look done? What did he win anything?
Did Phillip Rivers win anything?
He was never.
So they're on equal footing then, right?
He was never healthy enough to win anything. That was the problem.
I always go
But
back to.
when he was,
Yeah.
like, he was a. I mean, he was a franchise quarterback. He was a generational quarterback whenever he was healthy.
Rivers or Luck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he was great. I'm not saying anything about it. You're acting like he's has like 15 crowns holding a scepter or something. What the hell's he done?
We're just saying that Phillip Rivers
is not a starter.
How is he not a starter?
On my fantasy team, he's not a starter.
So you're going to take like 32 quarterbacks over him?
I'm not in a 32-team league, so no.
So if you're like at round 16 and Rivers is there and like say fucking Ryan Fitzmagic there, you're going to take Fitzpatrick or something.
If I can put Tua a couple rounds behind, yeah.
So it's cool if you don't want to win. That's fine. I mean, if you don't want to win, you're going to
He
take
did have his headphones backwards earlier. So
Yeah,
he's got a question.
He's not listening to the sound reason.
question.
No,
his
like,
intentions.
I just don't think he's a fantasy starter. That's my point. I think he finishes,
I agree.
outside.
So he's not going to have over 4,000 yards.
Not necessarily.
No.
You don't think he's have like over 25 touchdowns and like single digit
Don't-
interceptions?
Throw it to who?
Don't be surprised.
He has T.Y. and Pittman.
Don't be surprised a bit if Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack both have good seasons. They are built to run.
Correct.
And he still have Doyle.
They're
They
built
designed
to
that
run.
offensive line to run.
They built it to run.
That offensive line was not built to protect Andrew Luck. It was
Nope.
built to run the ball
They've got one of the best.
so he could pass freely.
They've got a guy who can be the best game manager. This could be a Trent Dilfer-like year.
You're right.
Phillip
Serious as heart
Rivers.
attack. He might
I'm
win a
not
lot of
joking.
games, but I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant. I think that
Trent Dilfer.
can we be honest though? The difference between quarterback 10 and quarterback 20 is not huge.
The point of this whole subject is a boom. What's a
I
boom
will
is an
take-
increase.
I will take Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the 16th round and wait another round and still end up with Cam Newton over Phillip Rivers.
I'll go Haskins instead of Phillip Rivers.
Fair enough. I'd do
That's
that too.
bullshit. You're just saying that to be funny. That's not true at all.
Yes, it is.
I will take
This is-
I don't know,
He
man.
went there.
I don't know, honestly, because listen, here I was in a redraft recently and I totally punted quarterback. It's Superflex. I punted it. I don't give a fuck. I do not care.
Is
The
this your first
is
Superflex league?
No.
Okay.
No, I just don't give a shit. Like,
well, people were taking Lamar Jackson, and it's like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, rightfully so. But then someone's taking Aaron Rodgers, and you still got Christian McCaffrey on the board. You're like,
well, Superflex is what makes people draft Phillip Rivers over fucking Russell Wilson or some shit. Like, that's not true. I needed a better comparison, but like Phillip Rivers gets overdrafted in Superflex because I need two quarterbacks and Rivers is a good one. But in a regular redraft, Phillip Rivers is like way, way back there.
all right, so you said T.Y. Hilton. Is he better than Keenan Allen?
They're about as healthy as about equally, right?
No. I'll take Keenan Allen has been a
And Keenan Allen's
number one receiver. The last 2 years he's been healthy.
I say, but he's also had like at least a decent second receiver beside him when he's actually there, like Mike Williams when he's actually playing.
Both games he plays that every year. Cool. and I mean, if you said Tyrell Williams, okay, it's number two.
Hey, Tyrell's been pretty solid.
Here's my point though, Neil. 4,000 yards isn't an achievement in the NFL anymore.
I was talking about it's a boom, which is a better season than last year. That's what he's going to have.
4,600 yards and 23 touchdowns. What he had last year.
Man, that's terrible, man.
I don't think he gets 25 touchdowns this year.
Wait, real quick reason.
Paris Campbell. That's
your boy.
Paris Campbell, T.Y. Hilton, and
Nicole Richie.
Michael Pittman Jr. That and Jack Doyle. That's what you're basing this on.
And a good run game.
Okay.
Real
and the best
quick.
offensive line in the league.
Real quick, I was going somewhere with the whole Superflex thing. I waited till the last 4 rounds to draft 2 quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks were Phillip Rivers and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That sounds like a win to me.
I was happy. That's why I waited, because I was pinpointing guys like that because I think they could both have big years, but not in the way that a top 10 quarterback
What
would
was
have
the
a big year.
last-
Like Phillip Rivers could be he could push 4,000 and he could push 25 touchdowns, but it's a bit of a risk to wait and bank on it.
What was it last year or the year before we talked
just
about
roll your eyes at me, Neil.
Stafford was
You guys are forgetting the whole point of this. It's boom, and you're not saying we're not listening to quarterback top fives, are we?
It's no fun if we just say, yeah,
I
Phillip
agree
Rivers
with you, Neil.
rules.
Sorry, move on.
Man, I'm glad you actually came to your senses. Maybe that having the headphones on correctly actually worked out for you.
Oh God.
The dude's a Hall of Famer, and you guys are disrespecting him.
No, he's not.
So is Gronk.
If Rivers is not a Hall of Famer, you might as well go and shit me here, Dad, right now.
Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
He shouldn't be. He got carried.
Statistically,
Wait a
they're very
minute.
equal, and one of them has 2 Super Bowl rings. Phillip Rivers isn't that guy.
Oh, he has a Super Bowl ring, so he's, once again, we'll go back to Trent Dilfer. Hall of Famer. Trent Dilfer, Hall of Famer, Yellow Jacket.
He actually has Yellow Jacket, I believe. doesn't
Eli
he?
Manning beat the Patriots. Let's not forget that
Twice.
with Neil over
Twice.
here. That's why he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
18-1.
I see him in OC and Strahan beat Brady that day.
18-1. Who's MVP?
Shouldn't have been. They hand out the MVPs to quarterbacks.
Oh, Dan Rozier is going to love this one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he a 2-time Super Bowl MVP?
Two-time.
With arguably the best defensive line, defensive line in like that decade.
Probably the last 20 years.
I didn't know his
I'm
defense. I didn't know his defensive line caught touchdowns.
I didn't know he threw for him. They threw for him either.
I'll be damned.
I'm sorry. I mean, when Eli just chucks it up to the heavens and all of a sudden
Strahan, OC, Tuck. Dude,
Well,
they did. That was
God
some
must have been
sex.
watching over him because they came down with it when he chucked it up to the
Was
heavens.
it Dave Harris or who was it?
David Tyrell.
Dave Tyrell, yeah. 'Cause
Tyree, by the way.
Dave Tyree, and it was Rodney Harrison on his back.
I hate to bring up memories because Hux and
You
Alexis
can
can tell
remember
you, but
David Tyree and shit on Eli.
because I mean that's literally like I think I've been alive for 38 years, okay, and that's easily probably the top 2 of my most angry moments of my entire life, and it also broke me because I don't get so mad anymore because it broke me that day. I about killed Hux and Alexis on the way home driving like a demon, and it's like,
So you're admitting that
That Eli is better than Tom Brady, is what he's trying to say.
You're admitting you're biased against Eli, basically.
Okay.
I mean, last time I checked,
Here's what I'm going to say. Serious is a hard take. If Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer, it's borderline. He's not surefire. He will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Same with Eli, though.
I never said he was the first ballot.
His rings will get him in. First ballot.
No, I don't know.
Isn't it crazy how many Hall of Famers will come out of the 04 class?
It is. It was an incredible quarterback class.
I'm saying, but it's in general, like, just the talent's insane from that year.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got, Barker?
Phew. You guys threw me way off track. I'm sticking with wide receiver for another round. Preston Williams is another guy that I think is a breakout.
Love Preston Williams.
Dude, Preston Williams was the best wide receiver on the team when he was healthy. Devontae Parker didn't truly go on a tear until Preston Williams went down.
Are they secretly getting a good wide receiving core?
Yeah, they're very, very sneakily.
Yeah.
I mean, Gesicki was borderline breakout last year. Mm-hmm. Devontae Parker did break out. Preston Williams.
A good 1 and 2.
Like 12th year breakout for Devontae Parker. That's impressive.
It was. But apparently, and I believe
Brandon
in it.
Lloyd all over again.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I think it's going to, I think it'll be sustained.
I love Brandon Wood,
You
man.
would. You
We've talked
fucking
about
would
him a
like
lot.
Brandon Lloyd.
But seriously, Devontae Parker, like they say in camp that he is now a leader. He's self-motivated, and that was a lot of his
Yeah.
problem before. He was not self-motivated. He did not
Because
do
he was
the
a
work.
terrible wide receiver until
Well,
last
because
year.
he was a young fucking kid.
Playing
And
a-
now he's
Now he's 30.
now he's a veteran.
They're playing with a bunch of trash cans. Now they got a team with hope.
That's right. So, and then you add Lynn Bowden if he can become a slot receiver or something. I mean, there's hope there. The
You
Raiders
mean they're
are playing
starting
a
running back Lynn Bowden?
Oh God. But seriously, Gesicki, Parker, and Williams, you could do a lot worse, and a lot of teams are a lot
Yeah,
worse.
it's
than
like
that.
the Raiders last year.
Hey, Dolphins might pick up a dub this weekend.
They play the Patriots.
Yeah, they might pick up one.
No, Super Cam.
No. Too early.
Listen,
they're not going to be in sync.
I bash on Cam, but I think I'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, they're not going to be in sync. It's going to look just like Deshaun Watson to Brandon Cooks.
I agree.
That's what it's going to look
I
like.
agree with Preston Williams. Here's the thing, and I've got him in several lineups coming up this weekend. I'm concerned that it's not happening yet because he's like saying he's not quite there, not quite 100%.
He's 100%. It was announced.
It was?
Yep.
Because like last week whenever I read it,
good to go.
he said he didn't think he was quite there yet.
Yeah, yesterday I think he's
What an advancement a week makes.
good to go.
Life
But
changing.
that's the same thing with Gesicki. Gesicki was questionable. He's in. Devontae Parker
No, I'm
was
talking
questionable.
about
He's in.
the words out of Preston Williams' mouth. Like,
Yeah, they
I
all
don't
do
think
the
I'm
same
quite
shit.
there. You know, which could also be like, I'm not quite there. So if I do suck week 1, I'm going to get better.
You nailed it. You just nailed it. So if Devontae Parker outplays me for a couple weeks, rest assured it's coming. It's coming.
And it's going to because
Because it's Devontae Parker across from me. Of course it's going to.
superstar wide receiver Devontae Parker across from Williams will solidify himself.
He's never open either.
He'll solidify himself
He just comes down with it.
as the number 1 on that team by week 8.
Like him a lot.
I agree with you. Actually, I just had him on a.
We just had to find a reason to get Dolphins.
I had
into the
him. I had him
conversation.
as my number 1 sleeper, so I could
Honestly,
I could put him on breakouts.
he's just there. He's just there.
Neil, who else do you have I can disagree with?
I had him in my top 5 running backs. I had Fournette I have him as a bust currently now because everybody's overvaluing him now, and they're still talking about how Rojo might actually be the number 1 there, which is bullshit, by the way.
Yeah, how the hell could you think that Fournette's going to fare better on the Bucks? That's not going to happen.
The theory of a viable passing game. Like as much as I just knocked on Tom Brady and Gronk, but I mean, listen, Minshew, rookie, you know, and that was the best quarterback performances they had for the entire year with Jacksonville. You know, Brady he's the best game manager ever. There's no doubt about that. The guy just doesn't throw interceptions. I think that the theory with Fournette's sound, I just don't think Fournette gets enough carries to be as relevant or to be what everyone thinks he's going to be. He's on a better team. He's going to perform better.
Right.
I don't think he is.
There's going to be 8 men in the box this time. He's going to get more yards.
No, he's not. He's not that good. He's not that good.
You guys all know I was really high on him when he's with the Jags, but now that he's a Buccaneer, I can't buy into it anymore.
You know how much pirate corn is? About a Buccaneer.
Look
at that, buddy.
Sorry.
That's a Southern Ohio joke there, right?
Dad joke.
Fucking good one.
I feel like I just looked at tight ends and just went good, bad, good, bad for mine. So
Damn you. If you say the guy I got pulled up right now, I'm gonna...
breakout. I got Fant.
Okay, keep going.
All right, talent and experience. So last year he had 200-yard games. That's not a fluke. That's a foreshadowing.
Is that your throat?
Fant is this year's George Kittle. Rookie year versus rookie year. Kittle's rookie year, 43 receptions, 515 yards, and 2 touchdowns on 63 targets. By the way, Kittle, can we make the agreement he's at least the second best tight end? Might be the best.
Oh, yeah.
Career high, 5 touchdowns. He's not getting in the end zone a ton. All right. Fant, his rookie year, 40 for 562 and 3 on 67 targets. Eerily similar numbers. And I just, if you're asking like the offense that he's in, I think he's in a better offense. He's going to have less attention than what Kittle ever got in his career after his first year.
How long is Sutton out?
He might play this week. They're not saying Sutton's out yet. So that, and I want to say that's a Monday night game. So that's
got a chance.
That's also scary. So prepare accordingly. If you do have Sutton on your team, you might want to go ahead and plug somebody else in. Otherwise, you might end up with a goose egg. But I think Fant is going to emerge into that top 3, 4, 5 tight end range this year, and I don't think he gives it back up for the rest of his career.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope he does. I mean, because a lot of people drafted him in the first round in all these dynasty drafts. I really hope him and Hawkinson both get up there.
I don't have Hawkinson on my list.
I don't either. I'm just saying, but they have to live up to the potential.
It'd be nice if the landscape was not atrocious.
Yeah, but I think Fant approaches or surpasses 1,000 yards this year.
I mean, can Hawkinson get up there with Galladay being down and out?
How long is Galladay going to be out there?
I don't know.
Is Hawkinson even good to go? Like, I know he should play, but is he going to slow start to the season probably?
See, that's what's scary. And then, how much is this team with 3 viable running backs? How much do they try to run? So, I mean, anyways, my guy's Fant, not Hawkinson, so I don't really care about that.
I'm going to keep it in the tight ends. That's what she said. Tight end, I was afraid you were going to take my guy. And listen.
I know you're getting ready to take one of mine.
Well, listen, Fant is a great one because he's not truly broke out. He had a solid rookie season, and now we've got a potential of a breakout. So Hayden Hurst,
Hey, Triple H, Hayden Hurst
Triple
Hemsley.
H, Hunter Hayden Helmsley.
I'm tired of hearing about him too.
Well, listen, me too, because a lot of people say he's going to be, I don't know if they're calling it a breakout. I'm calling it a breakout. I'm saying true top 5 fantasy finish breakout.
Okay.
Reason being, 2019, mostly healthy, 40 targets. On those 40 targets, pulls down 30 of them for 350 and 2. Austin Hooper had 97 targets last year,
Which are now vacated.
Which are now completely vacated, and there really isn't anybody that's came into the fold there besides Gurley. But they threw a lot to Freeman anyways.
Yeah, it's not like they never threw to the running back. So.
Correct. So Hayden Hurst is, to me, all but guaranteed 80 targets. If he gets 97, great. But on 80 targets, if you just extrapolate, you get 60 receptions for 700 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And let's also be realistic about something else. They don't throw to Julio in the end zone.
No.
That's all smart. You know what I mean?
Nothing smart about it. I mean, he's a go up and get it guy. Why would you throw it to him in the red zone? That's stupid.
He's only the hardest guy to catch a jump
dumb.
ball over, But they don't throw it to Julio. The giant target who's had a little bit of success. He's not been great. I agree with you 100%. What is it? Opportunity is 9/10 of the fantasy law.
Yeah, it
All
really
right.
is. It's true.
97 vacated targets. I mean, I think some of them will, go to Ridley. But
About damn time, right?
I'm with you though. I think Hurst has a breakout year. I'm not ready to put him in my top 5, but I'll bet he's knocking on the door.
Maybe that's what he's supposed to.
Let him in.
Brian, he's knocking on the back door. Should I let him in?
Maybe he does what you think he should do. Yeah, he should be number 5. But we'll wait and see. I guess I got to understand where he's coming from on that one though.
I just, I like it. There's just Calvin Ridley. Is it ever going to happen?
They can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the defense can't cover everybody.
Seriously though, I mean, are you confident
Yes.
that it's going to happen? I'm not. I'm
What did Ridley finish with last year? It's not like he was trash.
I'm not saying he's trash. I'm saying this might be what we get from him year in, year out. We may not get much of a jump from what he's already done. And if that's the case, Hayden Hurst is going to ball out.
850, an average of 8.5 touchdowns. So.
Which is great. But, I mean, we expect Ridley to be a 1,200 yard, 100 reception
Yeah, you're right.
Guy. And he's not. He hasn't been. So is that going to happen?
I want to say second half of the year he was like pretty close with Julio when targets Ridley was. Second half. But
They didn't do as much with
irrelevant. So we're talking about, the Hooper who through week 10 was the number 1 tight end in all of fantasy football. I actually have Hooper as a bust.
Had he not missed games, he would have still been.
Oh, he would have been number 1.
The guy.
He would have been number 1. I'll admit, Austin Hooper made me look stupid last year. Like I said, through week 10,
All of us.
Through week 10, 17.45 points per game. Kittle was second at 15.2. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, that's a huge gap. But Hooper,
what she said.
Hooper as my bust to kind of add into your Triple H here.
Good call.
As your boom.
Nice transition.
Hooper, new offense, inferior quarterback, and I honestly think he's going to have to stay in and block, for a far inferior offense compared to what Atlanta always had. I mean, that's the thing with Hurst. Hurst is going to be able to go out on routes. He's going to get targeted, whereas I think that Hooper's role is going to change a lot this year. So, smooth little nice segue. Thanks, Arms. Oh, I said that to myself. Neil,
Segue.
you're up.
I want to stick with them far as the boom goes, and I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. Everybody thinks lock is going to be a lock to be a boom, right?
A lock to be a boom.
Where do you think he finishes?
I'm not sure.
Because I like him.
I'm
like
not
him.
sure yet. I think he's a little overrated right now.
I don't have him as a top 5 guy, but he is definitely going to boom this year, especially with all the talent that's around him.
But what if he doesn't?
I'd be really sad.
Cortland Sutton becomes not what you wanted. Jerry Jeudy becomes not what you wanted. Fant becomes not what you wanted.
Hamler.
Who?
Sutton has
KJ Hamler, bud.
Who the fuck is that?
Penn State and just
Big Ten.
But no, Cortland Sutton has a AC joint injury, so right now he can't necessarily lift his hand above his head. So that could be a big issue. Jerry Jeudy, through camp, from what I'm hearing, looks as good as any rookie receivers looked. I like Locke, but I feel like people are drafting him in top 7.
I think it's. I think
Based on
it's just too
potential,
high.
In Dynasty, I think you have to.
you do. You do.
That's not wrong. Realistically, you have to.
If you want him, that's where you got to take him.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting him as your quarterback, the 15th quarterback off the board, which really that's where he should be going. The 12th to 15th quarterback off the board. But that's not where you're going to be able to. He was never going to be there. So.
And also, I don't know if I agree with that. And as far as a long-term dynasty situation, I don't think I would wait that long. There's not that many like long-term quarterbacks you want above that.
Okay, but there are quarterbacks that are definitely better than him. And how many years out are you planning?
Well, yeah, like people like Big Ben are obviously like better than him, but
I mean, you're looking, 2-3 years out in Dynasty? Are you really trying to draft a 10-year quarterback in Dynasty?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then you better go in the first round because
Patty
his
Mahomes.
name's Patrick Mahomes, all right? Like, as much as I love Lambjack, like, I'm not 100% confident that he's going to have a long, healthy career based on the way he plays.
maybe they'll figure him out too. Who knows?
That's possible. Yeah, I mean, he not incredibly impressive passing stats. We'll just say that.
He has time to grow. But either way, Locke has such great talent around him. All the weapons in the world, running game, passing game.
Yep.
Especially the division they're in, they're going to be throwing the hell out of the ball. All the potential's there for him to be one of the top quarterbacks.
Oh, they're going to be behind.
Can we help a viewer real quick?
Absolutely.
Josh T. Winter. Remember Josh T.
Winter?
Winter?
Yep.
What's up, guys?
Hello, Josh.
Is what he says. He says, "What's up, guys? What crazy guys? Pick 2 in a standard scoring format. Chark and Indianapolis. This must be a defense thing. Pick 2, wide receiver in the defense. Chark and Indy.
No, Chark playing at Indy.
Chark at Indy. God, my God. Chark at Indy. Cup at Dallas. Gallup at the Rams or the Raiders. Both of them have no.
Rams.
Las Vegas, LVR. Beckham, Baltimore. Pick 2. Chark against Indy. Cup against Dallas. Gallup against.
I think Cup's a safe one.
See, I think Gallup is the safest pick here.
You're picking 2, but
for me, I'm
picking 2.
I'm picking Gallup and Chark.
I think I like Cup and Gallup.
I can't hate on Cup because
Well, they're going to have to throw because
consistently
Dallas is
good.
going to be
and
able
Jags.
to put up
I
points.
mean, what's Jags have besides Chark at this point?
Laviska Shenault.
What do Jags have besides?
You know, D.D. Westbrook is like 3rd string now.
Yeah,
He was just so promising.
dude.
But realistically,
He
yeah,
was
I mean,
a poor man's Robbie Anderson for a minute.
Shenault could be anywhere from Cordero Patterson to Anquan Bolden, though. That's the downside on him.
but yeah, I think a lot of us we should just go and agree that it is Cup and Gallup on that one. That's what I would say anyway.
I went Chark and Gallup, but I don't. I will say I think Cup has more upside than Chark, but I think Chark has more guaranteed targets.
Ready for another one?
Yep.
Blue Crew Chep says, thoughts on my flex starter. Melvin Gordon, Hollywood Brown, or Zach Moss?
Melvin Gordon.
Definitely not Zach Moss.
Melvin Gordon, not close.
I don't know because we don't know how Denver's going to use him yet.
I guarantee
And I
he's the
love
goal
Melvin.
line guy.
I love Melvin Gordon.
Guarantees he's going to get in the end zone.
Ultimately, I say Melvin Gordon. But there's thought. There's thought involved.
No, I mean, I'm a Hollywood Brown guy on that one.
See,
You
there's
know,
thought involved.
Here's what I'll say. If I'm playing DFS, I might go Hollywood Brown, but I'll get there in a little bit.
That's what she said.
There's some
Because we still technically don't know how Broncos are going to distribute the run game.
I still think
Yeah,
it goes.
I'm not sure.
I think it goes through Gordon.
And if there's enough passes to go.
Let me
to
so you
Gordon.
guys are on Gordon's side, and I'm on Brown, but so.
I was big on Gordon early in the offseason, but I
From what
am
I've
a little bit worried.
What I've seen has been it's a RBC there. So.
I've heard Lindsey's looked awesome, but they've been talking about running back by committee for a while.
He kind of gets nicked. He's pushing into Matt Breida territory with him getting nicked up and it hurting his effectiveness a little bit.
Week one,
I know.
getting in the end zone, 85
Totally getting nicked
yards. I like it. Who are you more confident in getting a touchdown? That's really what it boils down to right here. Because do you think that Hollywood Brown's going to catch 7 balls for 100 yards?
No, I don't know.
No. No, I mean, I'm not confident in that.
I'd be happy if I had 6 catches for 77 yards. Honestly, 13 points.
I can also I'm not confident in catching, getting 100 yards. But on the flip side, it wouldn't shock me if he got 2 balls for 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. Either.
I'd be happy if 6 of 77 and a touchdown or something like that.
You're being bust, but I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon. I think he's a safer play. I think he's still a really solid play.
Okay. What you guys got next? Anybody?
I got a bust for you.
Sure.
I got a bust for where he's being drafted.
I feel like we're getting ready to talk about something.
I'm a little worried about Austin Eckler.
What?
I'm a little worried about Austin Eckler for where he's getting drafted, which is pretty high, top 6 rounds. I worry about Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly. Listen, this has been a team.
Are we talking about the number 2 running back through 12 weeks last year?
Okay, let's begin. You shit on me so bad for picking Eckler. All of a sudden,
What are you talking about? You didn't talk about Eckler.
on my top 10 running backs list, he's in my top 5.
I don't think he's top 5.
Jeez. Anyway, so Austin Eckler, listen, the Chargers have been a 2-back system for a long time. And I know that Eckler really played well, but whichever one of those 2 backs, Justin Jackson or Josh Kelly, you can't discount the fact that one of them could catch fire. Josh Kelly apparently looked really good in camp. So let's imagine a world where Josh Kelly goes, 50-40 with Austin Eckler. Because they're not just going to pound Eckler. That's not who he is.
You're right.
So what if Josh Kelly what if it turns out, which we can never, honestly, you cannot predict how running backs are going to come into the league and catch the ball. Sony Michel should have came into, and I know he's a Patriot.
You're absolutely right.
But there's a lot of running backs that you think are coming in as pass catchers, and they end up being runners. Or they come in as pass catch. James White, and that's another Patriot. But seriously, it happens more than just those guys.
James White had 6 career receptions?
Yeah, he was a runner.
It was stupid.
He was a runner. So sometimes we're just wrong. So if Josh Kelly can catch the ball and run well, it's just, to me, it's risky. Justin Jackson's not a bad player either. Injuries have kind of derailed him. He's looked good when he's in there. I just think there's a possibility that somebody cuts into Eckler more than we think, and it ends up being he's still going to be.
He had
top
132 carries last year. How much can you cut into his carries?
I'm talking about cutting into his catches.
All right, but
He caught 92 balls last year.
on 108
Tyrod
targets.
Taylor's the quarterback now.
So
It's not Phillip Rivers
A Super Bowl champion, Tyrod Taylor.
So he had
as a backup.
85% of his targets he caught. 993 yards. Do I think that he's going to get that yardage again at receiving? No, probably not. But
Or the touchdowns. 8 touchdowns? No.
But is it unheard of for him to get 11 combined?
He's still going to be a top 15 guy, but right now he's being drafted as a top 7 or 8 guy.
It says honestly, if you're doing this, redraft every year type of league, I'd jump all over Eckler. I really would.
I would draft him. I'm not confident he's going to be a top 7 guy.
There's the possibility that Eckler is the new Duke Johnson.
No, I wouldn't call. I mean, okay,
we're talking about
okay.
lots of receptions, not a lot of rushing yards, and somebody ends up kind of pushing him out of the way for a running back job. I get it there, but yes, I don't have him as a top 5 or 6 guy, but I can't justify dropping him below 12. I just can't do it.
It's
too much volume in the passing
It's kind of weird. He can wait 3 or 4 more rounds and take James White. He literally just almost does the same thing, just this tad bit smaller.
You familiar with Ray LaMontagne?
No.
Never mind. It was funny. It wasn't going to work if nobody knows it.
Okay.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Fuck my ass. That's what I'm saying.
Pass.
Arms.
Pass.
Not pass.
Well, also the spread between James White and Austin Eckler is about 350 receiving yards and double the rushing yards.
I'm saying as far as where they're being taken. He's a poor man.
And because you pay for that extra double yardage. I mean, that's what you get, and then twice the touchdown. So, yeah, and just so we're clear, wouldn't mind having James White, as a flex
No,
play.
I'm happy to have him as my second running back in the league of record.
RB2. And, honestly, I wouldn't shock me if James White balled out this year. Like, the kid can run the ball. He just hasn't had opportunity. I just think
He's just not used that way.
it's a different world in New England this
and
year.
he still got robbed out of the MVP for that Super Bowl, by the way. Either way.
I agree.
Got anybody else?
Nope. On to the next. I'll have one in a minute.
I have bust guy. Listen, people are still paying top 5 prices for Hunter Henry at tight end, and he's fine season last year. He wasn't great, but he was okay. Had some good games, but severe quarterback downgrade. Severe. I mean, I don't.
So you're saying Rivers is good?
No, I think Herbert is trash. I think he's going to be bad. Do you love Justin Herbert?
He's not starting.
No.
Oh, okay. So Tyrod Taylor.
Super Bowl champion Tyrod Taylor.
What,
God dang it.
how many rungs down the ladder was he when he won? How many snaps did he get in that Super Bowl?
It doesn't matter, Arms.
It does. It does. But there's what I'm getting at is before week 5, Justin Herbert will be starting, and it probably will be wishy-washy all year because you got 2 terrible quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor.
Has Tyrod honestly been terrible besides the Browns?
Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah.
The Bills.
He can let him to a playoff game.
Winning doesn't equate being really good.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I thought winning was just... And winning must be terrible.
You would be because you're a Tom Brady fan. You just think winning's everything.
Is it winning in sports for everything?
Are we talking about fantasy football?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the NFL?
But you're talking about a Dink and Duck Glover and Tyrod Taylor is not going to like a tight end. Man, I didn't know that.
Okay, who do you have success with then?
Who?
That's what I'm waiting on. Who did he have success with in a tight end?
The teams when he started had nobody.
And he's not as good of a quarterback as Philip Rivers.
Nobody said he was.
You're trying to make the argument he is.
I'm just trying to argue. How about that? Look how mad he is.
Shit's getting ridiculous.
Anyways, Henry definitely not worth top 5 prices. My tight end.
Where did he finish out last year?
I don't know. I know a lot of people still.
If Waller's at number 3, Henry can't be far behind.
He was way far behind. He had half the yardage. You kill me. 9.
That's craziness. I thought he was higher than that.
He missed 4 games. First 4 games, or 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So that's why. But I'm not sure he produces the 10 points a game that it takes to get him in top 10.
I hope he gets 8 points a game. I'd be happy with that, to be honest.
That's pathetic if you're ecstatic with 8 points a game.
I'm happy for any points sometimes. Yeah.
Valid enough. So, but no, people they see the couple games he has, like a 30-point game. You're like, oh man, he's a baller. And yeah, that week he was.
Who's these people? I'm still trying to figure out these sources of yours.
Well, he's big on the Twitter.
It's people.
Yeah, people at the bank come in and it's like, oh, what's this?
I do talk to people at the bank a lot about football.
You hear about the Hunter Henry being drafted so damn high?
Chris Godwin is going to be a bust.
Ties right into my Tom Brady bust. So
Godwin, just Tom Brady's not going to support Mike Evans and Chris Godwin the way that Jameis Winston supported Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
And defenses.
It's just not. Like, Chris Godwin is, I just don't buy it. Mike Evans to me is the wide receiver to own. I'm only basing this off the fact that he's never had a bad season.
Correct.
Chris Godwin, I wouldn't say he's had a bad season either. His rookie year was successful considering where he was drafted, but then he broke the hell out.
Yep.
And I don't see that being sustainable with the changes that have happened in Tampa Bay. I just don't see it. You got Gronk, you got Brady, an old guy that don't sling it up in the air for you to come to. Jameis Winston, seriously, the memes about Eli Manning closing his eyes, those are meant for Jameis Winston. Like, Jameis Winston. Hey,
hold on. He
eyes.
did get LASIK surgery this offseason, or contacts or something.
Is there between closing your eyes and not being able to see?
But he's not in Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, valid. He's back up. That's right.
In New Orleans. Or somewhere. Fuck, I don't know.
New Orleans. Yep.
But Tom Brady's not.
Teddy Bridgewater's replacement.
Tom Brady's not throwing it up there. Tom Brady's looking for Scotty Miller and Rob Gronkowski. You know,
Rojo out of the backfield. Rojo's going to have 60 receptions.
Beam me up, Scotty. It's just he's going to be looking for Scotty.
No, I outside of Randy Moss, when's the last go up and get a guy he had?
When's the last time Tom Brady made anyone but a slot receiver, a guy that could catch 86 balls for 13, 33, and 9?
Randy Moss. That's the last time he was ready.
Mike Evans is going to be the Randy Moss. Where's Godwin going to fall in?
Hey, Brandon Lloyd was able to go up and get the balls, you know what I mean?
Was he a Patriot? He was for a minute, wasn't
For
he?
a minute.
He's a champion with him.
Champion.
But Wes
And there's a
Welker,
lot of people that got rings that didn't deserve it with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
it's still weird to me. I understand it's not on subject, but
Jonas Gray.
But Wes Welker doesn't have a ring with the Patriots, which is crazy to me.
He doesn't?
He was,
No.
He was there for like
What?
a small eternity.
Yeah, he does not
He
have a
was-
ring with him.
Wes Welker was there longer than most people's NFL careers, and he doesn't have a ring.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Eli
it's
Manning
a crazy
probably
stat.
robbed him of 2 rings.
But the thing is, like, okay,
Wow.
well, we can get back on the Buccaneers. That's kind of low hanging fruit that everybody just starting shit on.
Even Danny Amendola has a ring,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Damn. Irving Fryer might even. No, I'm just kidding.
Amendola and Edelman both have a ring, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Edelman
I think he
definitely
got on the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I can go.
That was
for
an
my-
awkward silence. Sorry, guys.
I can go for my last bust, which it might not even be technically a bust, but I'm gonna have Burrow in that league there.
You know what? You can fuck right off.
You
Neil.
can go straight to hell, Neil Crabtree.
Get out.
I don't have to. I don't have to die though. I get to go to hell.
Son of a bitch.
People are expecting this guy to walk on water. You know,
He does.
He does. Have you not seen him?
Have you not had his wine?
I of course want him to
It
do
was
well.
straight water turned into wine.
And the Bengals are. I mean, on paper, Bengals are. They look to be stacked.
That's not the first time that's happened.
I ate Joe Burrow's cracker and drank his wine.
I mean, I hope he balls out and gets the Pro Bowl and the championships and
Yeah,
all
I
that
love the
stuff.
kid.
He's
Just
gonna.
kid from Southern
I
Ohio.
hope he does, but people are thinking he's
Bengals
going.
are going to the Super Bowl. We haven't even got to the prediction. We haven't even got to my.
You need to calm right down.
We have not even
Is
got
it,
to the
is this Ferris over here? The
predictions.
Ferrises?
No doubt. No doubt. It's like
Joe-
every Ferris family member every year.
Joe Burrow, Super Bowl MVP.
Do you have tiger stripes tattooed somewhere right now?
I do now. Ever since April.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I will own a Joe Burrow jersey. The kid,
I won't because I don't like wearing jerseys.
No,
Yeah.
I have several jerseys I don't wear, but I'll own one just to own it. I love Joe Burrow.
Once you buy a Bobcat jersey or whatever, or not
'Cause
Bobcat,
he didn't play with he didn't play
and
with the
I mean, like
Bobcats.
the high school team, his hometown school or LSU. Why wouldn't you buy that? You don't have to buy a Bengals jersey.
What is Athens? What are they? They're the Bulldogs.
They are.
Yeah, I might buy that.
What a dick.
I don't know what you're trying to prove. I'm
Hey.
saying you don't have to buy a Bengals jersey. Is what I'm saying.
Dude, go back and look at his seasons in high school. Jackson, I think, which is our hometown, beat him like his junior or sophomore or freshman year. In the next year, 49-0 against a perennial playoff team. Like, Burrow's special. The moment's never been too big for him. That's the one thing. He's got that above every other in the past 2 or 3 years kind of guy. Honestly, the only guy that the moment's never been too big for him, I didn't see a lot of that out of Patrick Mahomes in like college, but Deshaun Watson was the other guy that the moment was never too big. I think that Joe Burrow has a higher ceiling, just arm talent thing.
I mean,
than Deshaun Watson.
I also, he's got the talent and everything. I'm just saying, he's not going to bring the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
like
I'm
everybody's
with
like,
you. I'm with you.
That's why I'm having as a buzz.
I think he'll sneak into the top 10. I don't think he's going to be a 5,000 yard
I
guy.
don't even see that. I only see a top 10, but
Hey, he's going to break the rookie touchdown record.
like Haskins did last year for you.
He should have. Full season.
Oh, yeah. Did that
Give it a
happen?
full season. He didn't start all season. He
Do
should
we have
have.
money on that one?
No.
Are you sure?
Go back and listen to tape. I'll pay you.
Okay.
All $5 or whatever it was I owe you.
I'll bet you at 90 light.
You want a fun breakout?
Sure.
Herpes. Just
It's the worst breakout I've ever had. I mean,
no, I'm kidding. Anyways, IDP breakout. Alexander
Graham Bell?
Johnson, Denver linebacker, Alexander Johnson. So Todd Davis gets cut. Todd Davis, leading tackler, inside
That was crazy
linebacker.
too, I thought.
I thought it was crazy too, but you know who is listed as left inside linebacker right now? It's Alexander Johnson.
Didn't they pick a Barron though?
They did, but I don't
Barron
think.
be starting there.
Okay, you want to know who the other starting linebacker is on the inside? It's Josie Jewell. Yeah,
Okay,
but Mark Barron's going to start.
Valid enough, yes.
Mark Barron's
My
going
bad.
to start. But
There's
Alexander,
3 people in this room that can outrun JC Jewell.
Alexander Johnson which I like Jewel for a minute. I thought he was going to be Zach Thomas. He's not much of an athlete, but he can stuff the hole.
You talked about Josie Jewell way too much.
I
He's
used
more-
to.
more
I'm
li-
moving
Josie
on.
Jewell.
LeVon
moving
Kirkland
on.
was 300 pounds playing linebacker too. So I mean, it is what it is.
Definitely moving on. But Alexander Johnson, listen, dude, very quietly racked up 94 total tackles last year. 94.
Wow.
Alexander Johnson. He's on your team in EFC Arms.
He is.
He is. Alexander Johnson.
Oh, she is.
AJ. Alexander
Oh,
J.
see,
Johnson.
I have him as AJ Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know his first name.
Yeah, Alexander. So we'll just
I don't call
him
DK Decarius or whatever. the fuck his name.
whatever.
Decarius Zalen.
all that shit. But AJ Johnson, like linebacker, 40 overall, and we don't, nobody knows that name. And now
It's like-
he's starting on the inside after racking up 94 total tackles. Now he's starting. He's not even playing backup. He's a starting inside linebacker. And there's a reason they dropped Todd Davis. What is that reason? One, I'm pretty sure he was up for an extension.
They didn't want to pay.
was.
They didn't want to pay him.
Why
But
would you pay him if you think AJ Johnson is the second coming of Joe Burrow?
AJ Johnson's second coming of Todd Davis, at least.
Well, I'm talking about Joe Burrow, who can turn water into wine.
Gotcha.
Second coming AJ Johnson.
Valid. So I've got one. Some people might. I think this guy's going to be a breakout. He had some good outings last year. He actually had 3 2-touchdown games. Weeks 8 through 17, basically all but 2 weeks he was double digits. And it's Darius Slayton. Slayton was
That's worthwhile.
He was up, way down, way up, way down. Maddening to own. I think he levels out this year.
Boom!
I think he's a 15-point-a-week guy with better upside. Whenever he gets targets, he can convert his targets, and the kid can get in the end zone, and he's got speed for days. He can burn anybody. I mean, just go back and just watch the tape. The
I think
kid's good.
it's going to be more of the same, especially if the whole wide receiving core is there at the same time.
I think it's just. I think he finished. I don't have the stats in front of me. I think like 8 touchdowns. 3 weeks of 2 touchdowns. Just mark it down. 12 touchdowns this year. He's going to have 12 touchdowns this year and get around to.
But how many games did he actually have all 3 good wide receivers at the same time? That's what I'm saying. It's just,
all I'm saying is he's to me he's better than Sterling Shepard. To me, he's better than Golden Tate. Tate's old reliable, right? But
There's more upside.
from an upside play, I think Slayton is the guy that breaks out and establishes himself as the attempt to replace Odell Beckham Jr.
You know why I can't argue it? Because I'd sound silly arguing for Sterling Shepard or Golden Tate. So you can't argue it.
I can't-
Inarguable.
Yeah, I can't ever say you're wrong. I just, besides, I am the wrong one. But
I rule inarguable. Can I do that once an episode?
Hear ye, hear you. I
Hear
like
ye,
it.
hear ye. As the first host mentioned in the intro, I make it inarguable. Any other breakouts or booms? Booms. He's got me saying booms, but breakouts or busts.
I have 2 more busts.
Do you want to go on to week 1 of the NFL, or do you want to talk about your busts?
I'll just hit one, guys. I don't.
Any way you could be anti-arms, make it quick.
I just don't believe in Antonio Gibson.
That answer is no.
I mean, I'm seeing people literally trading first rounders and a first and a second sometimes
Saw
for
that
Antonio
today.
Gibson. I'm like,
It's a nice gamble.
what?
who has him in the league of record?
It's not a bad gamble.
Lambert, I believe.
Yeah, because Lambert offered him for a first rounder.
He
I'm like,
offered
I'm
me
not-
for first rounder. I laughed and
I was like, I'm not doing that.
Not a bad gamble.
Listen,
I'm not saying I would do it, but I mean, it's not a bad
like
gamble.
my pick could be the 16 or 1. I don't know which one it's going
I
to
mean,
be.
this is when you throw all your chips in the middle of the table.
If I'm in a
It's a
position,
gambler's play.
if I'm in a position to where I've got like everything else is in place and I know I'm going to be a late pick anyway, all right, fine. But I'm not.
Not the beginning of the year. You're like, fuck
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I still think by the end of the season, I think not even by the end of the season, week 4 or 5, I think it's Bryce Love is the main benefactor of the running game there.
I agree.
I think Gibson has some spell duty at that point. I think he's still in the passing game. It just the guy he wasn't a great performer in college from a rushing standpoint.
Hear you. Let it be known that Bark agreed.
And then my last one, I will be really quick about this. Cream rise to the top. Goddard's a better tight end than Zach Ertz. The only way Ertz enters that top tier tight end conversation again is with a different team.
Hear ye. Let the record show that Bark agreed. I like this.
I don't.
Yeah, no arguments, nothing. It's like,
Hear ye, hear ye. Let it be known.
I'm going home.
Barker
Okay.
agrees. Who the hell's taking you?
I'll be right back.
Who's driving him? Who's driving? Take me home tonight. I don't want to drive Juju. Such a fright. Okay. It always sucks when you add to the end, like you pause, so you're not going to nail it when you add the last few lyrics
no.
to do
no.
a parody. Such a fright. That was lame. Week 1. Let's start talking about week 1, and then he can throw his other bust out there, and we can make fun of him for wearing his headphones backwards and in the show. What you got week 1? Let's go through it. Let's do it without arms. Jets or Bills? Who wins, Neil?
I think Bills will win that one easily.
Packers or Vikings, Neil?
I want Vikings on that one.
Eagles or the Washington football team?
First of all, that Vikings game should not be a 1 o'clock game.
It can't take too long because do this 4 arms gets back. Eagles or the Washington football team?
I got Eagles on that one. That's funny.
Browns or the Ravens?
That's easy, Ravens.
The Colts or the Jaguars, Neil?
Colts. I mean, who's going to pick the Jags?
Raiders or the Panthers, Neil?
Your motion light thought I fell asleep out there.
Hurry up.
Oh,
We can do this. Gotta get through it.
Raiders.
Bears, Lions.
Probably the Bears, honestly.
Seahawks, Falcons.
Seahawks.
Dolphins, Patriots.
Dolphins.
Bengals, Chargers.
Bengals on that one.
Cardinals, Niners. We're all
Niners.
outside. Buccaneers, Saints.
Saints.
Cowboys, Rams.
Cowboys.
Steelers, Giants.
Steelers.
Titans, Broncos.
Broncos.
Titans.
We did it. We already went through week 1 of the NFL arms. You were gone too long.
That's fine.
You were gone way too long.
That's fine.
No, it's for real. What do you want to talk about week 1? Let's limit it to like one game.
No,
I'm just kidding.
There isn't necessarily a single game I want to talk about.
There's a lot of good matchups.
One thing this is
I feel like I don't know this year. I feel like I don't know who's going to be good and who's not. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities.
I'm saying there's a lot of good divisional matchups that matter. A lot of week 1s that matter.
I mean, what if the Washington football team is good?
What if?
I mean, according to Arms, they got the stud quarterback.
What if the Raiders are really good?
Listen, I lost a lot of confidence when guys is gone. Harmon going down. I think that affects their team negatively in a
But you
big
had to
way.
gain some confidence when Alex Smith was cleared.
Alex Smith has drop foot, bud. He's never going to play in the
But
NFL again.
and yet he's the best quarterback.
He's
on the
not.
team.
You think the Reds, the Washington football team, is actually? Do you think they'll actually go into this week with that name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they play a whole season with that name.
I do too. I think until they can buy the name they want, it's going to be the Washington football team.
So one thing I want to point out, and this is just kind of recalling back to week 1 last year.
And then maybe it'll stick. Washington football team for life. Maybe it just comes
I think it's
ingrained.
cool. I think it's cool.
I kind of think it's cool too. Anyways, Arms, go ahead.
WFT for life.
That's right. WFT.
No, one thing I wanted to point.
the fuck?
That's just cool, man.
What the
I like it. What the fuck?
So, anyhow, last year, this is coming from strictly a DFS type look at it. Last year, week 1, the guys who feasted in week 1 that were fairly cheap on DraftKings.
Sounds so sexual.
I'm sorry. I'm pulling it up right now. So the number one, think about yardage standpoint. Sammy Watkins, fairly cheap, always fairly cheap in DraftKings, right? Burner though, Michael Gallup, speed, right? He's a burner. He had 158 yards. John Ross, burner, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Deshaun Jackson, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. Never expensive.
Banana.
Hollywood Brown, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Banana.
DJ Chark,
Banana.
146 yards, 4 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin,
Banana.
125 yards and touchdown. Keenan Allen, not a burner.
Hey, he got
right?
paid. He got paid.
But he's your number 8 receiver from a yardage standpoint.
Opposite of Banana. Moist. Keenan Allen is moist.
And then you got John Brown at 9, 123 yards and a touchdown.
Banana.
All these guys last year were dirt cheap. And then 10, Mike, from a yardage standpoint, it's Michael,
I saw
Michael
that
Thomas.
post today, and I couldn't help but think, Arms is brilliant, but I'm not going to fucking tell him.
All I'm saying is if you're going to take a gamble this week, it takes a little bit of time for teams to adjust to full game speed.
Grab you a cheap Banana.
if you look at DraftKings, Michael Gallup's like $5,600. Terry McLaurin's like $5,600. There's a lot of guys that are dirt cheap. They're stupid fast.
John Ross.
I want to say Marquise Brown is cheaper than both of those guys.
So what you're saying? Are you going to go back and saying that you'd rather have Hollywood Brown over Gordon this week?
For this week, that's what I was saying. And from a DFS standpoint, like, I think there's a ton of upside. It takes a week or two for these guys to adjust to game speed. That's the reason you see a stupid fast guy blow up week 1 or week 2,
Sheldon Cooper.
and then they do nothing the rest of the year. After week 1, Sammy Watkins was garbage last year.
So you're trying to say Sammy Watkins had 2 back-to-back opening games?
Watkins looked good last night. Watkins looked good last night.
That's true.
I'm starting to wonder if Watkins, if he's going to Brandon Lloyd it this year.
Well, like last year when he had 30 points and then he stopped.
46.8 actually.
Breakout Sammy Watkins.
9 receptions for 190 yards, 3 touchdowns week 1 last year, Sammy
I
Watkins.
roasted somebody when I had him. I forget who it was.
But
I'm serious. Breakout Sammy Watkins. This is his year.
okay.
I've hated on him for too long.
No, I'm
Sammy,
I'm going to
this is
hate
it.
on him for the rest of the year. He had a fine night last night, but I think that if you're going to take a chance this week, you need to plug some cheap, fast guys into your lineup. It'll help you afford a guy like Christian McCaffrey. You know, a big guy, not a big guy, a guy that I really love this week. I love Eckler this week. I love Miles Sanders this week.
Sounds
you
like
know,
Sex in the City. Plug some cheap, fast guys in your lineup.
and a couple of other guys are cheap, like Ruggs. He's not expensive this week. Brian Edwards is like $4,100, $4,200 this week. It's
not bad.
And Preston Williams, I think, is $4,500.
Buy that all day long.
So you've got a lot of guys who are next to nothing from an actual starting receiver cost.
So you're trying to tell me I shouldn't spend like $10K on Amari Cooper or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you that.
That's exactly what he's saying. Spend 45 on CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Now price check me on Lamb because I don't know.
You might be right. I'll bet it's not far off.
I don't even have DraftKings installed because I got a different phone. Have you noticed my texts are blue?
Is you got an iPhone? Bro.
I hated to, but I use Mac laptop, so I had to give it a shot. I'm on the fence still. I'm on the fence still. I haven't made a decision. It's a trial run.
So Chark 6,300, a little bit expensive.
It's a burner phone.
But Ruggs is 51. Let's see if I can find him. Who'd you ask about?
Lamb.
CD
Yeah,
Lamb. He is not in the 12-game slate.
You know his parents were pissed about digital music, right? That's where he got his name.
CD, yeah.
He's not in the 12-game slate, so he's probably in the 16. Hold on. Is he in one of the Monday night games?
I believe so, yeah.
I'll guarantee he's
Well, it's
got
Dallas game. It's a primetime game, so.
Well,
it's got
shit.
to be a Monday night game.
But you're not going to pull up the Monday night game, right? You're going to pull up the whole week, like, pick from any game docket.
Yeah. That's I'm pulling up the 15-game
No,
slate.
this
Don't
Sunday, this Sunday
burn
night.
me, arms.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, they're in the night game.
Don't you burn me.
Pulling it up. Why can't I find it?
I don't know. It's making for some damn good
Dallas.
radio, though.
Oh my God! Oh, I'm sorry.
Making for some damn good radio.
I'm sorry. I know what I did.
Now you're waking up with Neil and Bark in the morning.
I'm an idiot.
Neil and Bark
Way to
in the
go.
morning. Let's talk about the crazy stuff in the news, Neil.
I don't watch the news.
That's the stuff that really makes you crazy. That's the stuff that really makes you laugh.
It's been too damn long since I've heard that, and I'm glad.
Oh, shit. Christ, Arms, you still haven't found...
Dude, I can't. Why am I not seeing Dallas?
I'm going to quit taking the Lord's name in
Who
vain.
did-
Just
who
say,
did they
Joe
play?
Burrow, will you please hurry up?
Dallas Rams Sunday at 8:20. Okay, late game.
Holy-
I told you it's a night game.
Shut up.
Yeah, you did.
CD Lamb's 4,100.
Hey, I was close.
4,100. So I mean, we're talking some cheap guys that have plenty of upside.
Oh, yeah. Give some to Jay.
Listen, you're really ruining the valuable content I'm trying to provide our
Oh,
listeners.
fuck off. Fuck straight off. You're trying to ruin my comedic
Yeah,
blend.
I'm sure Bauer loves the Cowboys news.
Also, other cheap plays. You've
Bauer
got
will also love as much as you've argued with Arms. That's his favorite part.
James White at only 6,000. Jonathan Taylor's at 5,700. Melvin Gordon's only 5,500.
You're going to say Taylor Swift.
So the one I keep going back to, your guy that you mentioned earlier, Haskins is only $5,000, and Cam's pretty cheap.
That's
this
a little high for Haskins.
yeah,
to be
but
honest.
Cam's only at 6,100. So like,
I still think Haskins should be knocked down to like 4.
but I'm confident. There's actually backups that cost more than Haskins. It's not even a joke.
Exactly.
There's not even jokes. Like Phillip Rivers, he costs
I mean, if Nick Foles can get in the game, I'll take my chances on Foles over Haskins.
But you know, I mean, I guess my point is, why spend 8,100 for Lamar Jackson whenever you can get Cam Newton for 61?
As long as you didn't say Haskins, I'm on board with that.
2,000 cheaper. I mean, and then like I'm fine with rolling the dice. Keep in mind, you're paying up at running back, or you're spending on one of your receivers at Michael Thomas. You know, get Kirk Cousins at 5,700, Drew Lock at 5,600. One of these guys is gonna
That's BS that he's that damn cheap too.
One of these guys are gonna ball out, and
Cousins is a nice DFS
dude,
player.
Tua and Mason Rudolph are both more than Haskins.
Why is Mason Rudolph?
Jalen Hurts is the same price. Matt Schaub is the same price as
That
Haskins.
is hilarious.
Chase Daniels is the same price as Haskins. Jacoby Brissett is $100 more than Haskins.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, you can't get closer to a free quarterback than that.
Yeah, but you also have so many options that are better. So many. Many.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, I will gladly, 100% confidence.
Did you say
take my
Mike Glennon?
chances.
Did you say Mike Glennon in there? Because I mean,
he's probably in there.
I'm on the
somewhere.
fence.
Hey, what about Charlie Whitehurst? Is he on there still?
Charlie Whitehurst and
Listen, he's only $1,000 more than Jeff Driscoll. Trevor Simeon.
Man, if I can get Cleo Lemon for that same price.
Cleo Lemon has been around for a long time.
But seriously, if he throws 2 touchdowns, he more than paid off.
Who?
Haskins.
2 touchdowns. Jesus, who the fuck is he? Joe Montana?
Montana.
Holy shit.
Montana.
My God. Joe Montana. Fucking Haskins.
Big 2 touchdowns.
Throwing 2 touchdowns. If you said interceptions, I'd be like, yeah, you got a point there, Owens.
By the way, Philip Dorsett had a good week 1 last year.
Still
Jameson
back on that
Crowder had a
overreaction.
good week 1 last year. Fast guys ball out week 1 is all I'm saying.
I do like that. I won't shit on anything.
To Tyreek.
Tyreek last year.
Yeah, but you know what?
Wasn't he out last year, week 1?
I was talking about fast guys balling out and he didn't ball out.
Well, we
That game's over. We can't talk about
It doesn't count anymore.
But Tyreek is being overdrafted too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sammy Watkins year.
Yeah. Go Sammy.
I don't think it's necessarily Sammy Watkins' years. I just think that the ball gets spread around more. And, oh, by the way, they have a running game.
Sammy Watkins.
All right, whatever.
Clemson.
Tigers.
Whatever. What was it?
Roar.
673 yards. What a stud.
Roar.
4 versus Buckeyes.
Is that your...
He's a breakout, bitch.
He's 27.
He's only played 2 games because of injuries.
He had 5 games over 10 points last year. A lot of them were 0 or didn't even play. He had like 5 games. Like 2 of them 0 and 2 of them he just didn't even play.
And he finished where?
He blew his load on game 1. That's all he needed.
He did. No, he had 46 points on week 1, finished with 140. I mean, less than 100 points the rest of the year combined. What a fucking trash can.
Pretty funny.
You know, if someone's willing to pay for Sammy Watkins right now in your league,
Hey,
just sell him.
He got me that W that week.
Week
Yeah,
2,
week 1, he got a lot of people a W.
Week 2 through
No,
17.
he got you. You're the only guy that started him last year. You and the 12 Sammy Watkins truther on Twitter, who's like, he's a Hall of Famer. He didn't have a good quarterback. He's like, okay, well, he's got the best quarterback maybe in history now, and he's still trash.
Sammy went back to the locker room. He's like, I'm done for the week, boys. Or done for the year, actually. Yeah.
Season. I'm done for the season, guys.
I can't top that, so I'm not going to try.
He literally didn't break 65 yards or get another touchdown all year.
Knows he's not top.
Like week 3, 64 yards. Finished the season 673 yards and 3 touchdowns. God,
Truther, son.
they are my favorite people because they will fight to the death for Sammy Watkins.
For some reason.
They're like, hey, no, you don't even understand how good Sammy Watkins is. I'm like,
You have any idea how good Lima Swede was in college? Fucking good.
I still love it when people are like, after he played a season with Mahomes, they're like, he's never even had that good of a quarterback. I'm like, he had a quarterback that threw 50 touchdowns last year. How many freaking touchdowns? Like, they weren't going to him because he's not good at football.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes has a virtual Hall of Fame jacket already.
Yeah, if Patrick Mahomes is retired in 2 years and it was just average for next 2 years, he'd probably make the Hall of Fame.
Like it or not, he's mentioned in the same breath as Brady and Montana all the time.
You don't have to like it. You just got to respect the fact he's already that good.
He's so good that he's being projected. Can he get more rings than Brady?
He's good enough.
He's good enough to have that conversation.
The biggest thing, and we're going way the direction I didn't plan to go today. If he keeps Reed or Bieniemy, like if Reed retires and Bieniemy becomes head coach, I think it's a big factor. Either of those, I think that's the biggest thing on whether or not
I think Bieniemy's going after this year.
Well, but
possible.
But let's say he is, right?
Yeah.
And Reed retires in 2 years. Why would you not want to go back and coach Patrick Mahomes? They're going to offer Bieniemy a giant stack of cash to coach the best quarterback in the league with what's probably still going to be one of the best rosters in the league. Like, he's coming. If he leaves, he's still coming back. Like, I think that match made in heaven. I sincerely think if there's anyone who can get, 7 rings, it is Patrick Mahomes. And look how quick he got to 1. You know what I mean? That matters.
If Patrick Mahomes is projected to wear a gold jacket, what color jacket is Dwayne Haskins projected to wear?
Gold jacket, green jacket. Haskins don't give a shit.
Creamsicle. I think Dwayne Haskins ends his career in a creamsicle jacket.
Or for the trash bag. Either way.
I hate you.
So you're saying Flex Seal jacket?
I hate you guys.
Dwayne Haskins in a Flex Seal jacket. You know he's going to look like Jamarcus Russell in another year or two. Like,
Flex Seal's too high end. He's like a great value trash can.
Dude,
trash bag.
Dwayne Haskins' body type is like, once my career's over, I'm fucking eating Cheetos. I am eating Cheetos.
Dude, I mean, he's got a chubby face. I mean, the kid works his ass off. He's still got some cheeks on him, man.
Dude, he looks like Zion Williamson after a 4-day Cheeto binge. That's what he looks like. He's just got that squared face. Once he eats, it's going to become one big rectangle.
I love the guy. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good long term.
I hope you're right because
hate on it all you want. I don't care.
I just like hating on it because it's fun. Me and you were on the same page when Haskins was coming out. You're still bought in, and I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I'm just, but I liked him coming out just almost as much as you did. The only difference was you're more of a Buckeye fan.
Absolutely.
So you're trying to say you're somewhat of a Buckeye fan then?
I am somewhat, yeah. Like I look in the morning paper, and I'm like, Haskins didn't do anything.
Till like week 8, he was fine.
Oh, when he scored a touchdown and ran around the field like he just won a Super Bowl.
You got to sell small victories, brother. Build on it. Rome wasn't building today.
We'll see. I'm worried about him. He showed very, 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 very little.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones showed enough to where, and Drew Lock showed it. I mean, think about it. Those guys, especially Drew Lock. How many games did Drew Lock play last year?
Just the back
2,
half. Yeah, just back
3, half. And we're all of a sudden he's a breakout. Dwayne Haskins, though, just out of the games he played, he showed nothing.
We want an old guy with a bum leg to start instead of him.
It's worrisome is all.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now you got me thinking. Because if I'm not mistaken, right, and I know Locke had a fine end of the season, but Daniel Jones started hot and faded pretty hard, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of fumbles. He had ball security issues. But as far as
that's a giant deal in the NFL.
No. You're 100% right. But as far as like playing when he's throwing the ball, pretty damn promising.
One thing I'll give credit here. He missed 2 games, 24 touchdowns. He was within striking distance of the rookie passing record.
What?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, for a minute. for a minute if you would have extrapolated the numbers.
Okay, well, he missed 3 games. I'm sorry. Actually, I don't think he started week 1, so really it's 4 games that he didn't start.
Yeah.
Lots of ones in there, though. You know what I mean?
Got anything else? We're pushing 2 hours.
No, I got nothing.
1 hour, 50 minutes is what this episode will be.
Sorry, guys.
It's not your fault.
If you got no, I'm talking to our listeners. I don't give a shit about you.
Oh, jeez.
Listeners, if you made it this far, sorry. Mark talks too much.
Said no one.
I say it.
Feelings hurt.
He talks. I can't. It's terrible. Anything else you'd like to add, or are you just going to let it run for another minute?
We might as well get to 150. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night.
Later.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.